Yo, what's goody everybody? If y'all don't know, Anime Last Stand will be releasing a patch very soon revolving around a bunch of nerfs and a bunch of buffs around some of our most beloved units, old and new, in Anime Last Stand. And today I'm gonna be going over all of those buffs and nerfs and everything y'all should expect when that patch actually drops. Now, of course, if you did enjoy this video, it would mean a lot if y'all could just like and subscribe if you haven't already, and let's stop the yapping and let's get into the video. Now, when we go over to the dev post, you can see that ALS has hired a brand new balancer, and he is the one who has been making polls and suggestions over the buffs and nerfs of old and new units in the coming future or in the coming patch. And as you can see, there are a lot of things to talk about here, and we're just gonna go slowly, bit by bit, going through all of these things so y'all are in tune of every unit that's going to be rebalanced. Now, the first thing we're gonna be talking about is the bleach update unit buffs. Now, as you can see, he put a bunch of bleach units up here who should be getting buffed. Now, as you can see, he said the top 3 will obviously be getting the buff, and number 1 Kenpachi, number 2 Gremmy, and number 7 Okiura are the top 3 voted units, so they are most likely going to be getting buffed. And we're just going to be going through everything he says because most of the things he talks about is pretty important. I'm going to be going through all of that so y'all know everything for the new patch coming soon about these balance changes. As you can see, Escanor was fixed. Escanor was apparently buffed but then nerfed because they accidentally coded in something to make him too overpowered, then they took out something, so then he was absolute garbage. So now I think he's just fixed. And here it says, hi guys, I want y'all to know that the balance change will be releasing very soon. All the units who aren't godly have been slightly scaled down, which is great because ALS's number 1, I'm gonna say the top 3 issue is the power creep and the power scaling. Every unit, every new update is better than the last one. It's like, even if they're unique, the DPS is better, the AoE is better. Like, they always make the units better than the last update, which is not good for the long span, right? And the thing is here, this is because the standard for your units who aren't godly, all non-godly characters starting this update will be 35 DPS or below. So they basically made it a maximum to how much damage they can do, which is fair, right? Because godlies are supposed to be the best unit in the game, as they're obviously the hardest units to get in the game. So they should be at the top of every list. So yeah, that's about it for that section. Now, if we go down, you can see that he says this means that the units are just as good as they've always been, but just in a new standard of DPS, right? So they kind of made it a limitation because you want this game to be long lasting, right? You can't just have every unit have 200 million one update, then 300 million one update, and then 400 million next update. It just kind of ruins the game, right? But that's how I see it. And here you go, the balancer. This is like the first patch that they're gonna be talking about. So you can see there's a bunch of patches and nerfs and buffs to these units. It's very half and half if you like these balance changes or not. But I guess we'll just talk about them. Gilgamesh, King of Heroes, Sword of Rupture. Price for early to mid game was reduced. Nuke upgrade price increased. DPS rebalance, and then removed cripple. Now, it's gonna be kind of going over all of these balance changes and why they did them. So we're just gonna like talk about the stats and the changes, and then we're gonna go on to the next one. And then Saber right here, King Pendragon. Yeah, just flame me in the comments. I have no idea to say that. Overall price decreased. DPS was rebalanced. Every unit's DPS was gonna be quote unquote rebalanced. So you could just say nerfed, but it's not really a nerf, right? Because they're gonna be as good as they were before, just kind of bringing the damage down of every unit. And then remove the hemorrhage, but buff the damage, and then now gains hybrid at upgrade 3. I think she gained hybrid at like upgrade 5 or 7, so that's a pretty good buff right there. Archer, final 3 upgrades price was decreased. His DPS rebalance, SP on max upgrade changed to 7. Now, I didn't really see an Archer showcase, so y'all have to tell me if this is a good or bad balance. And then Asta, I've seen that he got buffed crazy. DPS buffed, prices rebalanced, and SPA fixed. He also gained hemorrhage as well. He didn't say that here, but in the past balance changes here, it was somewhere in here, but I saw that he got hemorrhage and he got crazy buffed, so it's pretty crazy. Yeah, so he is now, I would say, meta. It's just there's so many good dark units that I would still just pass by him. But yeah, next unit is Yami, Dark Captain. Overall price decreased, gains hybrid upgrade 5, and DPS rebalance. He also has the status effect that Aizen has, which is like pressure, I think. Again, all of this was in like a little patch note that they dropped where they said all the nerfs and the buffs. But yeah, Asta gains hemorrhage. He gains hybrid much earlier. He never got hybrid, so I think it's actually gonna be really good. I think that's the only thing that I didn't like about Yami. So if he gains hybrid, then I think he's gonna be really good, and he's gonna be even cheaper. He might be kind of meta, I'm not gonna lie. And then Noel, overall price was decreased and DPS was rebalanced. I still don't think Noel will be kind of meta. She did get buffed a little bit too before. And then all the Black Clover units got buffed. And the biggest buff over here, we're going to talk about that guy later. I think got even more buffed. And then Wind Prince, his overall price got decreased and DPS was buffed. No rebalance, buffed, right? That's how bad bro was. And then Julius. Now Julius, they made him have a time stop ability, and then they also gave him a stun. But then they thought, no, that's not about it. Let's just make him even more overpowered. They gave him more DPS, and then his overall price was also decreased. But now he doesn't only do stun, he also slows the enemy. Now, if that's not broken support, then I really don't know what is. He's slowing the unit, stunning the unit. Also, he's full AoE at max upgrade. And then he also has a time stop, and his damage is also really good. So like, again, if you guys have like glitch on any of these old units or avatar that you're like, oh my god, I got them, but now they're ass, bro, all these units are getting rebalanced and they're being crazy. Like Time King, Black Clover update. When was the Black Clover update? Like 3-4 months ago. And then the next unit, another old unit, Hakari, his price was rebalanced and DPS was buffed. So kind of a mini buff, but still a buff is a buff, you know. And then Gone Rage, overall price was decreased, cheaper for progressive content, and his DPS was obviously rebalanced. Shadow and Range, so Sid's Evo, his max upgrade damage was increased, so pretty good, I guess. And then Okarun, his DPS was buffed, price rebalance, and range increase, so pretty good buff on his end. And then Broly's DPS got nerfed. Fuse Kai full power, so this is second Evo of Apprentice Kai. He has now Fear again, but not on placement. DPS was also nerfed a bit, right? So you can kind of call that like a semi-buff and a semi-nerf. Take it how you will. His final upgrade, Whitebeard Prime, his final upgrade was toned down a bit. Standard adaptation, I really don't know what this means. I feel like they just decreased the DPS. I don't know why they didn't say that, but yeah. Beerus's final upgrade was also toned down. I think this also means that he was nerfed in his DPS. So these two basically got nerfed a little bit. I don't think by much, but a little bit. And then this is probably the most important poll that I have seen like yet, right? What do you think is the most unbalanced currently, right? Traits, stages, units, Evo requirements, or others. Now, I honestly pick both. But I personally think that traits are the most unbalanced thing in this game, mainly because if you don't have Overlord or above, you can't do any content, right? Yes, it's very easy to get rerolls, and yes, you have 4x luck on weekends, so you even have even higher chance to get those, but that's all RNG, right? You don't want to have the enjoyment of a game based on only RNG. But then again, many people do have a good idea of why they picked Evo requirements, because the more we go into the game or the more updates that come up, we need so many more mythic shards. It's crazy, and they're not even adding a way to AFK them or consistently grind for them. I made a video on how to consistently grind for them, but they patched it, right? I've still been getting comments, oh, I've been waiting for 2 minutes, why isn't nothing patched? Or why isn't nothing showing up? It's because it's been patched, right? And that was like the only good mythic shard method that I like found. I haven't found a better one, or at least as consistent as that at least gave as much currency or as much mythic shards as that one, which is kind of sad to see. But this is very important, right? If they somehow manage to balance traits and Evo requirements properly, then that'll be really, really big for the long run of this game. And he's saying, you guys keep reporting traits, the most unbalanced thing in the game, and y'all are voting Evo requirements. Yeah, it's kind of hypocritical, but you know, it is what it is, right? Like, who knows? Hopefully they still rebalance traits. I think that would be really good. And then here, that fade balance over here was not even final yet. This is the update final. This is the balance log final, right? So this was actually going to drop. So he regained cripple. He didn't lose it. His damage got distributed for the last 2 upgrades. So instead of just having one upgrade, which would all of the damage, he now split it into 2 upgrades. And now his new cost 1.2 mil. Now, I don't know if this is a buff from the old one, or if this is just a buff from like now one, or a nerf. Like, I don't really know. Y'all have to tell me in the comments. And then Guts Berserk. This one I actually got really hyped for because Guts is so hyped. His damage got buffed. All upgrade prices were changed. But now he also keeps hemorrhage, but also does bleed. So he does hemorrhage and bleed at full AoE upgrade, which is crazy. Like, he is actually even more broken than he was back when he was like super meta. And I'm really hyped to see that. But then also Griffith, I think that's his name. Griffith got his damage buffed. All of his upgrade prices were changed. But now he also, this is kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. He deals dismantle and fear. I think he gets it on placement too. I think he becomes full AoE at some point as well. So he's a crazy DPS with Dismantle, but also a crazy support with the Fear. But his slow passive was removed. But I think this is definitely worth getting rid of the slow, because this combo is crazy. Now, Broly, of course, oh, he got buffed. Okay, he was nerfed, but then I think a lot of people were complaining, so now his damage got rebuffed. But it's only his final upgrade, so I guess take it how you will. But now Jester, his damage was buffed, his price was changed, and now he deals Dismantle on placements. I don't think he gained that on placement, but his Dismantle was crazy. But now he also gets Hybrid on placement. He might actually be crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Those are some really good buffs to him. And now Ulquiorra. This is everybody wanted him to be buffed, and I guess he's not getting buffed. Damage was buffed. Progressive potential was increased. Prices were rebalanced. Range increased. The balancer himself said that he's probably the best nature unit in the game right now, but he's not 100% sure. But he is definitely up there on the meta nature units, which is great to see, because nature is, to put it in simple words, absolute ass. So I'm glad to see them actually buffing some good nature units. Now Ichigo True Kai, someone who dropped from the portals, his damage was buffed, price changed by a lot, and now has Fear passive. He has it on placement and keeps it, which, I mean, I don't think he's gonna be meta even if he has those changes. And then Itadori enraged, damage was buffed, range was buffed, prices were changed, and passive was not reworked. Okay, but a pretty good semi buff for Itadori. And then some fixes and nerfs. Okuran's upgrade 3 damage being higher than his max upgrade was fixed. Noel's final upgrade damage was fixed or nerfed. Apprentice Kai, man, this is his first evo, was gutted. I don't know what gutted means. Did they just remove the character at that point? did they remove the character? Beerus' final upgrade damage was nerfed, and then Whitebeard's final upgrade damage was nerfed. These changes are not published yet, and he will ping the whole server when the changes are published. I'm just making these videos so y'all know that once 4x reaches, y'all can go through this whole video, see what units you think are gonna be meta, roll on them. It's gonna absolutely OP, I'm not gonna lie. This is the whole purpose of the video. Thoughts on releasing units every now and then who are monsters with Shinigami trait and worse with traits like Avatar or Glitched. This would honestly be really cool. I haven't checked this yet, but this would be really cool, because then more diversity of traits would make the game more fun, in my opinion, right? So this is a pretty good change that I would like them to see. The bouncer is kind of cooking, I'm not gonna lie. You could call it glaze, but he's kind of cooking with these changes. And then here, the last thing he says is, a lot of you are complaining because the units who won the polls did not get buffed. There will be other buffs in the future. This is not the only buff update. Those units will come in future balance changes. So that's basically about it from the dev post and all of the balance changes coming up very, very soon in Anime Last Stand. I hope y'all are hyped, because I am super hyped, mainly for Guts. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Guts is gonna be broken because his price did get changed, and now he gets hemorrhage and bleed. And his damage was buffed too, so that hemorrhage and bleed is going to do even more damage. So I'm pretty hyped for him. Just a bunch of things that I'm hyped about, and just really good balance changes on ALS's side. Right, so that's about it for the dev posts. Now, of course, if you guys did enjoy this video and are super hyped for these changes to come very, very soon, like and subscribe for more content coming up very, very soon. Again, I do want to apologize that I haven't uploaded a video. It's just every game has been dry, right? But we'll try to make sure that that does not happen again. So I hope y'all have a great rest of your day or night wherever you are, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace.